Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Apothecary Diaries Season 2 Episode 3 reaction. So the previous episode we get to see the caravans. The caravans were there. They stayed there for a while and a lot of people brought a lot of things. And turns out a lot of people brought a lot of scented oils which are not good for pregnant women, for their child especially, and a lot of other things related to that. So it kind of seemed like they were implying that someone is trying to harm Gyokyo's child, even though this thing has not been public. Someone knows about it and they're trying to harm her, like this. Kind of similar to the powder incident that happened before. So yeah, that is going on. Obviously, Mao has realized that something fishy is going on. Someone is trying to do something, and in the end, it turns out someone, I forgot the name. I think Jin, that was her name. Like one of the concubines. Yeah, Jin, or like maybe like a lady in wait. I don't remember who it was, but they mentioned they died and it was due to poison. And then they kind of showed like Gyokyo like having tea, and I'm pretty sure beside Gyokyo that was Hongyang. Now there's a lot of things that I'm still not 100% sure. There's a lot of mystery that are being like that are going around over there, and I think they kind of kept it like that. It'll little by little we'll understand what's happening. And yeah, let's see if this episode sheds some light to whatever is happening there. So let us begin episode number 3. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it whichever is a preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. I just saw. Oh, wait a minute. In the opening, there's. Okay, you know what? I feel like there's a. This. Okay, you know what? I'll talk about it later. Let me just watch it first. There's something weird I found about the opening in one of the sections. Okay. Alright, here we go. Jean, okay. Corpse fungus. Oh, she's teaching everyone else now. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Yeah, this place is a lot of things goes around. Damn. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We've been seeing like someone is trying to do something to her. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Well, probably something to do with. Hmm. Yep. Planning for. Oh, like a library or something? Oh, a school. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is a good thing. Like, like everyone will learn how to read and write. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Hmm. No. Yeah, that is true. Maybe like in one of the sites. Yeah. Yeah. Vocational training. All right. Wow. She's not wrong. Hmm. Hmm. She should. Yeah, that's why. And there's a lot of them that has toxins. Oh my god. Well. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Oh, frog. Huh. Well, Oh, someone's cooking something? Deacons- Right. Hmm. Official business. Right. Maybe if I tried one, I could tell. Hmm. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh, the whole situation with that the concubine. Yeah. Upper middle rank concubine. Right. Yeah. She usually. Hmm. Attack them. Oh. Damn. And now she's dead. You're right. Hmm. Right. So. True. Fu- Yeah. Yeah. Obviously not. So Hongyan. Yeah. No. Yeah, that's what you thought? Okay. Hongyan, come on. Hand. Her hand is. Hmm. What the? Who's this? Concubine's song. Okay, so the same rash, the hair also fell. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Like I can kind of understand which direction this is going, but I'm still not sure. Okay, lower ranking concubine son. So she probably did something. Jin. Poisoned her. Okay. Hmm. Oh, okay. So it's not her. Wait a minute. Okay, so hmm. I think this is where the title comes from. Corpus. What was it? Hmm. Yeah. Oh, his her hand. Right. Damn. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Was so suddenly counter Jin. Yep. Hmm. Okay. Oh. Okay. So someone didn't poison her. She herself. Yeah, that sounds not really. But it seems like someone's trying to make it like this, as if right from eating the pollen. Yeah, if she knew that was poisonous, why would she eat it? Like she's the one who poisoned her. Oh, okay. Hmm. Rubbed the poisonous mushroom on her face. Hmm. Oh. Yeah. Hmm. All right. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Oh. Oh my God. So that was a year ago. Yeah. That person's, whoever that was. Oh. Yeah. But then why? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. And that's why that other person had yeah, so the others had like the mark on the hands, that's why. Because they were also in on the okay. Yeah, how did she know that over there? The mushrooms? Yeah. Hmm. Ah, okay. Oh my God. Wow. All those that she collected. And there's one left. One has fallen down. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Wait, we kind of got sidetracked with this. What about the whole situation with Yokio that's going on with her child? Like someone is trying to pull something. I guess we'll deal with that later in the next episode or something. Hmm. Okay, and that was today's episode, episode number 3 of Apothecary Diaries season 2. Now, today's episode, we deal with the mystery of the death of Jin, concubine Jin, and what happened in the background behind all of that. Like, what exactly happened with that. And turns out it was a, it was something that was like a conspiracy that was going on for a while. And Jin was actually dead for like 1 year or something, exactly at that time where Tao, I think that was her name, the one who went missing, exactly at the time when she went missing. And as we get to know in the end, that they kind of had a little squabble. Concubine Jean died, and the other ladies in waiting, they decided to make her into Jin, and tried, kind of tricked everyone else like that for 1 year. But then in the end, they saw there was no other way that they can continue this ongoing. So like she died. They killed her, I'm assuming, by rubbing, and like doing something with the poison, something like that they did. That's why there was that one lady who was holding out the flowers. Her hand was corroded because she came in contact with the poison. um, so that is the whole situation here. Now, okay, so the reason why, at first Mama thought the reason why Jinshi has, um, like ordered her to figure this out is because he's suspecting her, or like she thought that Jinshi came here because he's suspecting someone from the Jade Pavilion, and the only one who is, who can be suspected is her. But wait a minute, I guess this part, where's that section? Yeah, why did Master Jinshi ask me to? Okay, here we go. Here we go, this part where she says the prime suspect, obviously it cannot be Gyokyo. The other ladies in waiting aren't built for that kind of underhanded work. But it's interesting how, I don't know, like Mama completely just didn't even think about Honyan. Like she didn't even suspect her, because immediately I was thinking like, oh, Honyan, because like she's the only one who isn't really like the other ladies in waiting. She has like a certain amount of power. She is like their leader. She does have like a, probably enjoy a few leeways here and there because she is someone who leads them. Not only that, she is also very close to, like Jokyo. So like she has like a lot of, like she can get a lot of opportunity. And so I was assuming that Jinshi was probably, or at least Mama would think that Honyan, but she didn't even think about Honyan. She immediately went to, oh, maybe it's me, like maybe he's suspecting me. So yeah, and that's the thing. So anyways, but it turns out that was a whole like false lead. Like not really a lead, but like nobody was really at any fault here in the Jade Pavilion, because whatever was going on here was happening in the Crystal Pavilion. No, not Crystal Pavilion. Wait, who's lady in waiting? Wait, who? Which? I don't know. But anyways, these ladies, the one who were there. Just a minute, guys. Right, I'm back. So yeah, where was I? Right. So obviously, it turns out that obviously nobody in the Jade Pavilion were, like, were to be suspect because they weren't even involved in this. Turns out this was all an inside, like like situation where these ladies, they are the ones who tried to cover up this whole situation, and this is what happened. Either way, right. So here, this is which where Mama realizes, where she sees the patches, the hair fall, and she realized that, wait a minute, Jinshi said that she ingested poison. Why was it outside? Like, why was the poison mark like outside? Like, what's going on? So that kind of like rubbed her in a, like, she made her suspicious. So she did a little bit further investigating, went and found out the, mushroom in question, which was this one that is very poisonous. Yeah, and then she, like, deduces the rest of it, and finds out the whole, like, truth of the incident. Now, obviously, the big question here was, how did Mao Mao realize that the body was there? As she mentions it, that, oh, it's because of the mushrooms that was growing on top of it. Like, those type of mushrooms grows on, like animal carcasses, like, or like, like a soil which has like something like that, to gain nutrients and stuff. So that is why so many mushrooms at the same place. But at the same time, I was thinking, like, just with the mushrooms she realized that, but then she mentioned the smell, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense, because everyone has been saying, like, oh, there's been a weird smell, that we've been smelling, from the north side, and everyone thought it was like sewage or something. So it turns out it was actually from that. So from those two, she was able to deduce that it's somewhere there. She did also say that, damn, I found it in one try, which also means that she wasn't expecting to find the body in one try, because obviously, there's a lot of places that a lot of mushroom were growing over there in that forest. So she just saw one spot and with a lot of mushroom going, that particular mushroom going, and she was like, oh, let's check here. There was a possibility it wouldn't be down there. Maybe it would be someplace else where some other mushrooms are going. So this was just like a, like a trial and error thing that she started. But fortunately, she got the result in the very beginning, the very first patch of mushroom that she like dug up. She was able to find the corpse there. That is why she said over there that, oh, that's lucky, I wasn't expecting you to find it the first time. Because she was ready to like try a few times, like, like I said, trial and error. She would do that, she would dig up the place. If it's not found there, she would go someplace else and try to find out another place where there's a lot of those mushrooms growing, where she'll dig again, and if it's not there, again repeat like that. So it was just like she was just lucky, she just found the body in like one try. That's why. Yeah, and that is the situation here. So this was like a completely different incident from wherever else is going on, because the whole situation with Gyokyo has still not been, resolved. Like, someone is trying something with Gyokyo's child, and then, like, it's obviously there's no proof to that, but the stuff that we saw in the previous episode kind of indicates that, like, for example, someone knew that, like, Gyokyo is like, is carrying a child, because they, like, the people, the caravan, they brought like the dresses which don't have the tight belly, belt, that thing. Instead it is like loose, which is, like, helpful for pregnant women, and particularly that was more in stock over there. And not more in stock, but they bought more of those. Why? Because usually they would, like, Gyokyo wears something that is tight. So why would, like, they particularly go for that, like, and that, those type of things, like. And then there has been a few other stuff which seems like someone is trying to do something bad to her or her child, with the scented oils, all these things. So that one was, that mystery was ongoing in the previous episode, which, from where we kind of get a little bit sidetracked, or maybe this is also connected to that, who knows. Let's wait and see. But this was something separate. And like, concubine Jin's death, we were able to investigate and properly come to a conclusion as to what happened to her, and why this happened. Obviously, Mao says like I'm just going to leave everything to the officials here because like I don't want to interfere in this anymore. I don't know what they'll do, but let's just leave it to them. I have nothing else to do here. I figured out what happened. Obviously, she didn't like all these speculations she made in her head, where she like made this kind of deduced that, oh, there's a possibility that this is what happened, that the people who were with her, the ladies in waiting, they're the ones who made Tao like as an imposter and like carried this whole thing on. Mama thought that. She didn't really say that to Jinshi or anything. She just told Jinshi that, oh, this is what happened, and now you do whatever you want to do. Like again, you'll need proof for that, and I doubt Mama wants to go deeper into this whole situation. She like, yeah. So that is why, yeah, that's that. Yeah, here we go. This is the part. She never says this to Jinshi. She says, she in her head she thinks, I have some personal conjectures, of course, and this is where she tells her theory. Like this triggered by jealousy. Someone who looks exactly like a lot like Jin is getting married, so concubine Jin probably didn't enjoy that. So she tried to harass her. This part. Yeah, she abused her, and then there was perhaps an argument where, and like that ended in concubine Jin's death. Ladies in waiting, perhaps out of self-preservation and sympathy for Tao, such as a cover up concubine Jin's death. Yeah, so obviously, like the reason why the ladies in waiting decided to make Tao like cover up this whole situation and make Tao the like imposter in this situation. Why did they do that? Is because number one, as the Mao Mao says, they don't want to get involved in this, because if the if the higher ups they come to this situation and they like like get to know what had happened, and they realize that concubine Jin is dead, they would a lot of like fault would probably fall on, obviously Tao would be completely like like she would probably like be executed or something like that would have happened, but the other ladies in waiting, they would probably be heavily punished because of their negligence. So they don't want to get in any of those nonsense for someone who they didn't even like. This was concubine Jin we're talking about. She abused her, like personal attendants. She abused the other, like ladies in waiting, and like harassed them and everything. For someone like that, they don't want to get into any type of nonsense, and they obviously they don't really care that she died. Probably they were happy that she's gone, and they didn't want to get involved in this and like blamed for this. That's why they were like, oh, like let us make you into Jin and like fool everyone. For obviously it was a like a, what can I say, it was not really a good plan, because how long would we be able to carry this on? But temporarily they were like, oh, let's do this. And obviously Tao also had no other choice, because she's the one who killed her. So if this gets out, she would be executed. So she also had no other choice but to listen to them, and that's why they like started this whole lie, and this continued. But obviously, like I said, how long are they going to continue this? How long will they be tricking others? That is why, here we go. As our marriage talks got increasingly serious, keeping up the imposter act became too difficult. Yeah. And then Mama doesn't really say what happened, but we can assume they probably tried to set it up as if she ate something and she died, so that nobody, like the other ladies in waiting, won't get blamed for this, or won't get, like, yeah, like they won't have anything to do with it. So that's why they tried to cover it up as a accidental death, like she ate poisonous mushroom and she died, that kind of thing. Um, no, not like that, sorry. They made the narrative as if like, oh, she was depressed, she was not happy about the fact that she was a prideful lady. So since this happened, since she lost her like her beauty and everything, she completely just, completely like became depressed, and she, like, took her own life. That is what the narrative was like. That's what they were going with. So, they tried to make this scene as an accidental, not an accidental, but a, self, like self-made, like, yeah, like a suicide. They wanted to make it make it seem like it. But obviously, Mao Mao kind of revealed the whole plan, and she was like, "This is probably what happened." So yeah, now the higher ups will deal with whatever they want to do, and yeah, they'll deal with it. Mao Mao has nothing else to do with this anymore. Right. Okay, and that was today's episode. Good episode. Um, yeah, that was interesting. I always like these type of, like, like I feel like this is probably also something that really, like, made me like season one as well. Like, it had like these mini mysteries which are very interesting. Like, it's not really something crazy or anything. Like, like these like small little mysteries and these things that are going on. It's always nice to see, or kind of, like, deduce what's going on and see Mao Mao deduce it, and seems like a detective show, kind of, like that. Um, right. Okay. And that was today's episode. But like I said, we still don't have any idea what's going on with the whole Gyokyo situation, so we'll have to deal with that later, I guess. Maybe next episode we'll get to more of it. But yeah. All right. That was today's episode. Now, let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, we get to see the situation with concubine Jin, that has, like Jinshi is now trying to figure out what to do about it, and he's like, all right, let's go to the Jade Pavilion. And Gyokyo gets to know from um, one of her ladies in waiting that Commander concubine Jin has died. Okay, then Jinshi comes in, like, and talks to Gyokyo. While all of this is going on, Mao Mao is going around, like the rare palace. Yeah, and this is where we get to see Mao Mao talking to the doctor, the quack, and he says that, oh, this is where he brings up Tao. This part. Yeah, he's like, oh, can you please try to here we go. A court lady is missing. Yes, her name is Tao. Was a good girl, hard worker. Her tenure was almost up, and she was scheduled to get married soon. Yeah. Um, right. I heard she was given a hairpin at the garden party. Yeah, that. Right. So all that stuff. Obviously, the reason why Tao went missing is because she died. And yeah. So yeah. Now another thing, I guess, so Tao was playing both the roles. He was playing his or her own role, Tao, and like Jin's role as well. Whenever some officials came in to see what's going on, like, like Jinshi went there and used to like meet with her, like, I think like once a month or something like that. He said. During those times, she put on the disguise and put on the whole thing, and she sat there as Jin. And then after Jinshi left, she took out and became Tao again. So that is why, like, when more and more time went, and the marriage, like procedure went more and more, like, like it almost got completed, and she was going to get married. That is when the ladies in waiting decided to just take her out of the picture, so that they don't get blamed for it. Because if she goes away, like if she gets married off, what are they going to do? They will have to, like, they'll have no other choice but to put another person over there in Tao's place as Jin, and this is going to continue. So, like, yeah, so they decided to just take her out, and, like, kind of make it seem as if, like, oh, she went missing. But right. Anyways, So yeah, this is what's happening. Mao Mao gets to know about Tao, and right. Okay, that's that. Next, we see Mao Mao was walking, and this is where she sees Gyokyo talking with Jinshi. And yeah, Mao Mao is like, like Gyokyo calls Mao Mao and says, like, oh, Jinshi has something to talk to you about. Jinshi's like, let's go in. And now, obviously, in the end, we get to know why he was doing this, because obviously, the connection between the Jade Pavilion, like Gyokyo, Hongyang, and what's her name? Jin, there was a slight possibility that someone here was involved with this whole situation. So Jinshi didn't want like them to know like what he wants Mao Mao to investigate or what is going on. That's why this was she he brought her away from there. Anyways, yeah. So Mao Mao talks to Jinshi, and Jinshi here tells about the the thing, what do you call it, the school. Yeah, the school's like thing, he says. um right. And this is why Mama also says that instead of making the school in front, make it at the back, because there's a lot of higher ranking concubines who will be there, who might not really like the whole situation. They might be like, oh, these lower ranked concubines, they're learning to read. They might get offended with that or something like that. Mama also told Jinshi to make it like like for the official title to not be like school or something, but be like vocational training, so that like people are more accepting of it. So Mama was like, in her head, she was thinking like, Jinshi has obviously good intentions, but since he's like a sheltered, like a noble, he has no idea how these type of things might work. So these type of little tweaks, like Mama is helping him out with. Yeah. Okay. Now this is where Jinshi talks to Mao Mao about. Okay, this part. Yeah, mushroom. This is where he starts talking to Mao Mao about mushrooms, and he's like, "Oh, can you please, like investigate about these mushrooms?" And like there's a lot of court ladies going around. They might suddenly eat a mushroom and might have food poisoning or something. And at first, Mao Mao was like, "Nah," and like was not really into it. But then he's like, "Oh, I do remember someone eating like a mushroom, like without like yeah, like and if you remember in season 1, she like was eating mushrooms with the doctor. So yeah. Anyways, he gives her the order to investigate it. And Mama's like, all right, let's do it. So she goes there to the north, finds a lot of mushrooms, has a great time, gathers all the mushroom, and yeah, that's that. Then she goes to meet Gyokyo, and this is where we get to know that they are going to the ceremony, the funeral, like of concubine Jin. So Hongyan takes her there, and this is where we get to know about the history between Gyokyo and concubine Jin. This part. So Mao Mao, when Hongyan was talking about concubine Jin, Mama realized there's some kind of a poison or venomous in her tone, a venom in her tone. So she was like, "You don't really, like talk like this about anyone. What's going on?" Which is where we get to know from Honyan. Here we go. She would attack them verbally, sometimes even physically, if they were lower caste, concubine Jin. And that was when Lady Gyokyo was poisoned while she was pregnant with the princess. Yeah. So, of course, she didn't openly attack the high ranking concubines, but given her personality, Master Jinshi had to at least go and make an inquiry. So, however, She said, "Do you have any evidence?" Yeah. So it remained only a suspicion only. Like, who was the one who? A lot of internal turmoil. Even her ladies in waiting had a good rough time. Yeah, so obviously it's not really proved that, oh, she's the one who did this, but there were suspicions, and it wouldn't be surprising if she was the one involved in this. And that is why Honyang is like talking like this in a passive aggressive way, because she's like, yeah, like I never liked her, and she did these type of things, so there's a huge possibility that she would have brought more harm to Lady Gyokyo, and that is why I'm just relieved that she's dead. Like, she'll never be able to do that. Right. Okay, so this is where Mama was like, wait a minute, is this why Master Jinshu asked me to investigate Mushroom? Does he like suspect anyone from the Jade Pavilion? But then she's like, wait, who would he suspect? Obviously not Gyokyo. She probably definitely has nothing to do with it. The other ladies in waiting don't have enough like opportunity to do something like this. Right. Then she's like, oh, is it me? Does he suspect me? But like I said, she doesn't really talk about Honyan, because like, yeah, she does say that this part, the other ladies in waiting aren't built for that kind of underhanded work. But you could say that Honyan is also another lady in waiting, but you cannot really put her in the same category as the other three, because as we all know, Honyan is more of like a personal assistant to Gyokyo. So she's way more special than an ordinary lady in waiting. She has a lot of more responsibility, you can say power as well. So, maybe Mao Mao just like put her along with the other ladies in waiting and thought that, yeah, they aren't built for this kind of underhanded work. But like, I don't know, I feel like there is a possibility that like Honyam would be able to do something that a lot of the other ladies in waiting would not be capable of doing. She has that capability. So Mama immediately jumping to herself I was like, wait, what? Like, you're not suspecting Honyam? You're suspecting yourself, like, or you're suspecting that Jinshi suspects you. But anyways, that whole situation, like she's thinking about that, and this is where she notices one of the ladies in waiting here has like the hand is like kind of corroded, and she's like, okay, that's interesting. She takes it. She takes a flower, puts it on the like the body, and she leaves. She did think like, oh, it would be good if I could inspect the body. But then we see here another lady just comes in. Okay, who was this? Okay, this was probably on some other like lady, some other like lower ranked concubines or something. Oh, concubine song, there you go. So she takes out the thing, and she's like, oh, this is what you get, like, you did this to me, now you're in the same situation. Right. And Mao sees that, and Mao realizes that, oh, I realize now why like Jinshi told me to investigate this. Okay, so turns out the woman at the previous night is a lower ranking concubine named Concubine Son. She is from a wealthy merchant family, had a great personality. Emperor even visited her from time to time. However, exactly 2 years ago, yeah, her hair fell off, and her skin got corroded, contracted a mysterious illness, and talked to her race to remove her as concubine. And she was allowed to stay in the rare palace, but that was it. Yeah, so she thought that concubine Jin is to blame for her illness, because obviously we know concubine Jin, her like jealousy and all that. So yeah, that is why. And this is where Mama finds out the poisonous mushroom that she was trying to find. So she gets that, and she brings Jinshi over there, and she tells him that, oh, be very careful, you know. And then she shows how her hand has a mark, which was back then when she didn't know about this and accidentally touched it. She immediately washed it off as well, but it still is like that. I love how she's like, oh, like, are these other scars underneath her bandage also like something like this? And mom was like, oh no, it's nothing like that. These are just something that I got because I experiment on myself. Right. Okay. Okay, so this is where Jinshi, you know, says that 2 years ago, concubine son contracted a mysterious illness. Poison was suspected to be the cause. The culprit was rumored to be concubine Jin. Yeah, but obviously we cannot prove it. It was her. So that's that. And 1 year later, or 1 year ago, the same symptoms appeared in Commander Jin as well, concubine Jin as well. She must have tried to use the same poison on someone, touched it by mistake. Yeah, and then he says, like, apparently, or everyone suspects that because of that, because he is very prideful, obviously the emperor stopped going to her. So because of her pride, she took her own life, or something like that. Unable to take it anymore, she took poison and committed suicide. Yeah. Okay. So Mama brings out the flaw in this theory. She says like, oh, but the poison does cause stomach aches, vomiting, and paralysis when eaten. It could cause inflammation inside the mouth. Never heard of it spreading from to the rest of the face. Now, not only that, Mama also has noticed that the body, like like the person's face was like corroded and everything. Hand was fine. Hand was quite clean. So, if Jinshi's theory is true, which was she accidentally, while trying to use the poison on someone else, infected herself, why is her hand clean? That's a very valid question. Why is her hand clean? Why there's patches on her face? Makes no sense. So that kind of thing. Like if it's contradictions. This is why Mama realized, said that there must be something else going on here. So give me a little bit of time. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to tell you. Okay, and this is why Mama starts her investigation. After that, she does a few investigations. She tells Jinshi to give her like 2 or 3 other, like eunuchs who can help her, like carry like a huge load. So yeah, then she comes to a particular place in the forest. She sees the mushrooms. She tells them to dig that place up. Finds out the body or the skeleton remains, and she's like, "Yep, this is it." The ornaments are, all those stuff are also over there. Obviously, she had no idea it was there underneath there. She was, like I said, she was going to use trial and error to figure out where it was, but she found it the first time. That was her being lucky. Here we go. So at the end, Mama tells Jinshi that I don't know if this was a murder or accident. She must have died a year ago, right around when she fell ill. Yes, the real concubine Jin was buried in the forest. Imposter took her place, and yeah, the body of the funeral. Tao. There you go. Okay, so Mama doesn't further elaborate anything after this. She's like, I don't know anything about this, but it might be an accident, it might be someone did something, but that's it. This is what happened. But we get to know in Mama was thinking, Mama's own speculation was that, as we see, since Tao and Jin looked very similar, Jin was finding her own happiness. Not Jin, sorry. Tao was going to find her own happiness, was going to get married and all that. Jin didn't like that. Jealousy made her abuse her or something like that, and there was probably like an argument. Tao retaliated back, somehow ended up killing her, which is where all the other ladies in waiting were like, oh, you just be her, like act as her. It's fine. Everything is okay. Let's just carry this on. But obviously, as time went on, her marriage talks went further and further, which is when the other ladies in waiting realized this cannot go on any further. So they took her out as well and made it seem as if like she went missing and Jin uh, ingested poison and died, so that the whole situation doesn't fall on them. So obviously that is Mao speculation. Nobody knows that is if that is true or not. That is just a theory. And Mao's like, I just don't want to get involved in this, so I'm not going to say anything. Like let them figure out whatever. Anyways, this is where Jinshi's like, oh, like, yeah, the evidence. How did she figure out where the thing is? So the mushrooms. Here we go. The mushrooms in this area are all that like to grow on animal carcasses and excrement. Um, and she talks about how it was like literally growing on the soil over there underneath which was the corpse. And She's like, what are you going to do with them? And she's like, yeah, nothing, I'm not going to do nothing up with this. Jinshi realizes she's going to probably use it, eat it, or do something with it. So she's like, oh, he's like, I'm going to confiscate this. Okay, so this is where in the end, Mamo looks at the one mushroom that was fallen there. She thinks that a mushroom that grows on a corpse, if such a thing existed, what would it look like and what effects it would have? And she is like imagining like the blue mushrooms over there. Now, at the very beginning of today's episode, the name of today's episode was, what was the title? Wait a minute, let me check. Where's that part? Okay, I cannot find the title. Let me just check on the internet, because I want to check what that mushroom is. That was a scientific name of a mushroom. Apothecary. Right, wait a minute. Here we have it. Okay, today's title was corpse fungus. Oh wait, that was not a scientific name. That was just, oh, okay, never mind. I thought that was like some kind of a scientific name, because like I'm pretty sure there does exist a mushroom that grows on corpse. And I was thinking maybe, yeah, there are a lot of them, as you can see here. Okay. Now another thing, this is something kind of unrelated to today's episode, but there's something the opening, you see, there's a section where there are like the ladies in the end are shown like like as reflections to each other. And then we have, I guess this wasn't really any type of a secret or anything, it's pretty damn obvious. There's this lady at the end with blonde hair, who it seems at one glance it seems like that is also the same happening, that it's like a reflection. But no, there are two-person over here, these are twins. You can see that when you look at the ornaments that they're wearing. The hairstyle is a bit different, and the color of the ornament, one is blue and one is red. So I don't know, like I don't know if they were deliberately doing this to kind of trick us into thinking like maybe in the future, maybe I think like a time will come when they'll try to trick us into thinking that these are like, this is one person but there's actually two-person doing something. Like a lot of detective shows have this, where initially we think like, oh, this is one person, but then we realize this is not only one person, there's another person who looks exactly like that, and this twin is also doing something along with them, so we get tricked. So that is what I was thinking, maybe they'll try to do that here, because it's pretty obvious now that I'm looking at the ending opening song, those are two people. and they're probably twins. They look exactly the same. Yeah, anyways, this was something completely unrelated to today's episode, but I just noticed that, and it was kind of interesting because I was like, why is the opening like that? Like all the other ladies that they're showing, they are like, they have like reflections of each other, while that lady in the end, it was not their reflection, it was two individual person. So that's why I'm thinking maybe somewhere down the line they'll have some kind of a mystery which will involve those two, something like that. Anyways, we'll see about that. Anyways, that was today's episode. Good episode. And yeah, that was the whole situation with Tao and concubine Jin. That is it. Thanks for watching. This was my reaction to episode number 3 of the Apothecary Diaries season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Apothecary Diaries. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.